So being a living species and all, humans are eventually forced to become these big, boring things we call adults, aka the topic of this Imponderables video. So the first thing I will point out about adults is that they have some real issues with chairs. I mean, various continuous groaning noises are common among adults, but it's definitely amplified around furniture. You'd just be minding your own business when all of a sudden you hear a grizzly bear lifting a truck behind you, but when you turn around to snap a picture with your iPhone to upload it to Facebook, it turns out it was just your mom sitting down. For some reason, when adults try to bend their wrinkly old bodies into a sitting position, they always make interesting sounds. This is usually followed by a frantic knock at the door, which is your neighbors, who grabbed the first aid kit and ran over immediately to see who just broke half the bones in their body. Then when adults try to get out of chairs, you hear a series of pops and cracking sounds which escape from the creaky old joints they have. It's actually quite jazzy. I bet one could become really rich by selling tickets to a concert if they filled a music hall with a bunch of chairs and old people. Imagine 100 adults sitting down and getting up in syncopation, the air filled with pops and creaks and ooh-oohs. The passionate contemporary music lovers would stand up and applaud with tears streaming down their face in awe of the masterful new music before their ears. To whoever will put this multi-million-dollar plan into action, you're welcome. Slang. I don't think adults realize how incredibly wrong it is for them to try out modern slang. Like when your mom says LOL, or your dad says, "Sup, J-Dog?" What's worse is when they say something wrong, like, "Ooh, you just got pooned." No. Just no. Poor adults. They just think they're being so cool to the younger generation, but they don't even realize that their kid has melted into a little pile of mortified goo in the presence of an adult trying to be quote-unquote hip. It should be a crime. I also don't understand the slang back in their day. Funky fresh? If that was used nowadays, no one would take anyone seriously. Like instead of, "Hey Bob, that shirt is cool," you'd say, "Hey Bob, that shirt is funky fresh." If I was Bob, I would be insulted. I imagine it would also be horrible if you were to make a defensive remark. Like if someone made fun of your friend's shirt and you wanted to stick up for him, normally one would say, "Hey dude, that's not cool." But, "Hey dude, that's not funky fresh." Yeah, that would be a great way to get a fist slammed into your face. Another thing about adults is their strange increase in medicine intake. Adults seriously love medicine. They take it for everything. Can't sleep? They take medicine. Their back hurts? They take medicine. Questionable bowels? They take medicine. Annoyed by a bird chirping outside? They take medicine and chuck it at that miserable creature. I suggest that you get someone help if you see them doing that last one though. But I bet that adults would love it if restaurants and vendors offered medicine garnishes and toppings. Like instead of asking, "Would you like Parmesan with that?" they'd say, "Would you like some grated pills with that?" And instead of chocolate syrup and sprinkles, adults could get ice cream with cough syrup and pills. Pizza sprinkled with cough drops and fresh antacid tablets. Have you ever noticed how adults seem to hate the idea of fun? Everything that actually is fun, like flying a kite or going to the beach, they have no interest in. But adults love super boring things, like sitting down and quietly reading some boring dramatic novel, or taking a nap, or drinking coffee, or talking to other adults about their adult problems like chin hairs or ugly loafer shoes or beer guts. Oh, and all the more fun when an adult has something to show off to other adults. And no, it will never be anything even remotely interesting, usually just some new eyeglasses case or brand cereal, and all the other adults will be like, "Whoa, OMG, that's so legit!" Of course, they mean legit, but you know adults and their incapability to use modern slang correctly. Okay, this is the last thing about adults. It's rather random, but I feel adults would make nice little pets if there was a species much larger and more intelligent than us. Like you could put them in a glass room with some muffins and coffee and a TV and you'd be all set. And adults don't exercise anyway, so you wouldn't even have to walk them. But then again, drinking coffee, eating, watching TV, and refusing to go to the gym is pretty much what adults do now anyway, isn't it? They certainly are fascinating creatures.